any money here because you're not doing anything and trading any labor or hours for that. Now, out of a desire to help others, one can accept an invitation by giving an unconditional monetary gift to another, meaning that nothing is promised in return from that individual. When I call someone and say, hey, I have a gift for you, I'm not saying I have a gift for you and I need you to give me something back. I'm not expecting anything in return from that person. Participants are invited via a private invitation only. The activity invites participants who share an earnest belief in giving. Well, this is a belief system. We just believe in sowing and reaping. Now, positive life-changing experiences develop when like-minded, all right, that's very critical, like-minded, kind-hearted participants meet in ever-increasing numbers. Now, here's how simple everything is. Both American and Canadian citizens have a legal, constitutional right to gift property, cash, and other assets of value as established by law. Furthermore, the U.S. gifting law, IRS Tax Code Title 26, Section 2501 through 2504 and 2511 states that one or more individuals can give a gift or gifts to another individual of up to $11,000 per calendar year without any tax liability being incurred by the recipient of the gift. Now, in my hand, I have the tax code. Well, it's one thing to read it right there. I want to go get it on the internet, and I'm one of those research people, and I want to go see with my eyes, is that right? So I went and found the code, and it's right. And you know what it says? It says some really exciting things. You know what I said? Come here, you come here. Hurry, come here. I love doing this. Watch this. Turn around, look at this. What this says, watch this. All these people, every one of them, can each give you $11,000 this year. See what that does? See what that does? Illumination. When she realizes that this law says that you, all of you can bring her $11,000 and she doesn't have to pay any tax on it, look what happens. It's an automatic reflex. Thank you. Give her a hand. Since the taxes on the gift have already been paid, how many of you worked hard, got your check, and for some reason they took money out? Anybody ever had a check that never matched the hours and your hourly wage because one of your distant relatives, some uncle, hooked it, got his part first, right? So what that means is that when you give a gift, you've already paid the taxes on it, so now it's not going to roll over on the person that you give the gift to, all right? And since it's not an investment, these gifts are not required to be reported as gross income of the recipient. So see, that's critical because as we continue to work and have our jobs, we're in a tax bracket. Well, if this is reported, it's going to move me to a higher tax bracket. Got it? So I want to stay right where I am, and I want to have something right here that nobody else knows about. You know, you got that, come on now, some of you husbands, some of you wives, you got your little fund that the other one doesn't know about. You got that little mad money. Well, this is, you know, I got my little fund. That ain't nobody's business. I got my own little fund. Now, my wife, she knows right what the fund is. All right, and I pretty much just keep her happy. She never has to go in my pocket because I'm always giving it to her. I'm always giving it to her. Because as fast as I can give it to her, as fast as she can spend it, it's coming back in. I mean, that's exciting. No promises or guarantees are expressed or implied as to who will receive gifts. It is our sincere wish and hope, however, that all who join us will be blessed by gifts and abundance that can only once be imagined. Through ongoing support, the potential exists for each participant to equally, everybody say equally prosper forever. So what that means is this cannot be a pyramid. For each of us to equally prosper, this cannot be a pyramid. And you've heard people say, oh, that's one of those pyramids. Well, when they say that, say, what is one of those pyramids? And when they can't define a pyramid, then ask them how they put that label on what you're doing. If you don't know what a pyramid is, then how can you say this is a pyramid? And so, if someone tells me it's a pyramid, I simply show it to them, and they say, well, you're right, that's not a pyramid. What a pyramid does is it puts somebody at the top that will always stay there. And no matter how hard you work, you can never, ever reap the same kind of blessings that that person reaps. Because they're always going to get what they got and a little bit off what you got. Well, in this activity, the person sitting in the blessing seat cannot stay there. They do their time in the blessing seat, and then they get kicked out so that one of us can get in the blessing seat. All right, how many of you like the blessing seat? Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. And so this has the opportunity also that debunks the thought that this is a pyramid, that you can actually outrun the person that invited you. You can't do that in a pyramid. Once you're locked under them, you're there. No matter what. You can't go up here and go around them. But in this activity, it's equal playing field. You do what's required of you, and you move, and you build this activity. You can just go right around. And we're going to show some of that in training here in just a little bit. In this activity, we all enter into a belief system. Now, that's very critical. It's a belief system. The government cannot mess with our belief system. Cannot. I have a constitutional right to believe whatever I want to believe. Now, anybody agree there's some folk out there that believe some crazy stuff? But the government can't go shut them down because they're crazy. Right? All right? And so we have a belief system, and our belief system states that everything we give out in life comes back multiplied. And so if I want some smiles, what do I got to give? See, oh, look at all y'all. See, I already get a harvest back. I'm getting a harvest back already. And so my belief system just says that I can do the same thing with money as I do with smiles. If I give money, money's going to come back. All right? Luke 6:38 in the Bible, it clearly states that give, and it shall be given unto you. Good measure, pressed down, shaken together, and running over, shall men give into your bosom. Now, what's a bosom? Bosom in the Greek is defined as pocket. And in those days, they wore those robes. Y'all see them, how they wear their robe? Well, what they do when people wanted to give them something, they just pull their robe up a little bit and make them a little pocket. They just poof. And people start coming by and giving it to them. Well, they start giving good measure. And then when it starts to overflow, what do? Press it down. Press it down. Push it down into the bottom of the hole. And then when that doesn't work, what do? Put a little more robe, shake it together. And when they finally run out of robe, what happens? Running over. It's falling all over the place. And guess what happens when it runs over and you can't carry no more? Everybody around you can get some. And see, that's what this is all about. We're blessed to be a blessing. I get blessed so much to where I can just bless other people and give to other people and help other people. And so that's our belief system. Now, how does the gifting activity work? This is our board panel. All of them look the same. We have 7 of them, and they all look the same. There are 8 freshmen, 4 sophomores, 2 juniors, and 1 senior. All right, the senior's name is Eagle. All right, Eagle is not a position or a status symbol. Eagle is a board name. I'm Papa Doc. My wife is Mama Doc. All right, we have fun board names. We have board names like Salsa Queen and Big Dog and Silly Mama and, all kind of different board names. And so Eagle is simply a board name, so don't get that confused. Well, for tonight, all we really care about and want to focus on are the freshmen and the seniors. Why is that? Because the freshmen do all the giving, and the senior does all the receiving. How many of you want to be seniors? Yeah. So what happens is you, by personal invitation, you watch a DVD, or you come to one of our private gatherings, and you see this activity, and you say, you know what, that makes sense. I'm getting in. And so when you get in, you come in as a freshman. Well, when you come in, you land in Eagle's, what we call money line. And so you would simply call Eagle and say, Eagle, I have a gift for you. Eagle's going to be real happy to hear from you. Eagle's going to be excited. And so you're going to arrange the sending of the gift. Now, when Eagle accepts you onto the board panel, that's going to create 2 vacancies, and look, you're already a sophomore. Now, wasn't that quick? See, you saw this board panel and thought, well, how long does it take to get to senior? Man, it doesn't take long. I know a lot of people that did it in their first few hours. I mean, a lot of people. And so what happens is now you have to go get 2 people. Now, how many of you know that it's not real difficult to find 2? Now, do you really think that all this can work with 2 people? How many of you are in traffic on the way here tonight? All that started with 2 people. All those long lines at the airport, the grocery store, it all started with 2 people. So we know that this concept will work. So now what do I have to do? I need to go find my 2. So I go out and I find John. Bring him to a gathering. John comes into this activity, and who does he call? Ann. Now let me see. Why did he call Ann? Now I called who? Eagle. But when I came in and I got pushed down to sophomore, that kicked Eagle out of the money seat. And it made room for Ann. Now how many of you like that? I like that. That when I go do what they say I'm supposed to do, I'm going to get what I'm supposed to have. Got it? No politics. The computer does not play favorites. It doesn't care. You can't make it mad. Can't offend it. All right? You don't have to walk on eggshells around your computer hoping that it's going to promote you. All right? When you do what you're supposed to do, boom, you get promoted. Now, I need to find another one. All right? So I find Brian. When I bring Brian into this activity, he calls Ann. Calls Ann and says, Ann, I got a gift for you. Ann's like, I'm happy to hear from you, Brian. You're my new friend. But now look what just happened. A domino effect happened. And the vacancies created for John and Brian have pushed you now to junior, kicked Ann out of the senior seat, and now Joe is sitting in the money seat. And Joe is seeing John and Brian going, go boys, go, go. Right? Because now all he's doing, he's sitting. He's already got his 2. He went and got you and Lou. Right? And so now John and Brian, they're going to go out because they need their 2 legs. And so John, he goes out and talks to Steve. Well, Steve calls Joe. Joe says, happy to hear from you, Steve. John calls Kelly, has her look at the DVD. She comes into our activity. She sends Joe a gift. Wow. Now, Brian, he needs his 2 legs, so he calls Joseph. Joseph calls Joe. Brian talks to Kenny. Kenny comes into the activity. He sends a gift to Joe. Now, how many of you like to be Joe? I mean, I like where Joe's at, but you know what? If you just keep holding on, you're going to be there. You're going to be there. Why? Because now look, this has created vacancies above Steve, Kelly, Joseph, and Kenny. Now what's it going to do? Well, now you're the senior. Now see, that wasn't really difficult, was it? That's really pretty simple. Now how did I become a senior? Well, way up here, I invited John and Brian. John and Brian invited Steve, Kelly, Joseph, and Kenny, and now it's created 8 vacancies across the top. Now the freshmen do all the what? Giving. Now how many of you are glad that you're now the senior and you see those 8 vacancies up there? Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. So now what's going to happen? Well, Steve needs his 2 legs, so Steve sends a DVD to Ralph. Ralph gets excited, and Ralph calls you. You might know, you don't even know Ralph. I just had to send a gift to Illinois. I don't even know him. All right? Now, Steve, he wants his other leg, so he has to call Tim. Tim calls you, tells you he has a gift for you. Now, Kelly, she has to get her 2, so she calls Nikki. Nikki calls you with a gift. And then she calls Patrice. Patrice calls you with a gift. Now, you don't even really know what's going on yet. You can't even explain it, and already you're getting money back. Now that's exciting to me. I've got people that are already about to hit the $500 panel and can't even explain what's going on. Because they just went and got their 2. And they went and got their 2. And they went, if we do the system works. Now, some things that you need to remember. All participants must have at least 2 personal invitees to be promoted in a lead activity. Participants requesting placement should contact the senior to arrange the sending of the gift within, well, 2 to 4 hours. Forgot to put my hyphen in there. They say 24, I say 2 to 4. All right? I mean, as soon as I land on somebody's panel, I'm calling them. Why? Because until I arrange the sending of the gift, they have me in a holding tank. And I don't want to be in the holding tank in case somebody's coming up behind me, I don't want anybody passing me up. So don't sit and wait 2-3 days. I'll get around to it. I'll get around to it. I'll get around to it. No. You want to call that senior as soon as possible. Why? Remember our belief system? Remember when we said whatever we do and give off in life comes back multiplied? Well, look, you don't want to give off holding up your senior. All right? Because then what? You're going to have multiplied people not contacting you. All right? So we want to make sure that we do that. Now, this is very important. The tracking system will automatically submit the request to move forward as soon as the fourth gift has been accepted. So, when you receive your fourth gift, the computer is going to promote you to the next higher panel. You don't have to wait to fill all 8 vacancies in your freshman line. As soon as 4 come in, you start another panel. So now you have 2 going at the same time. So now while you're waiting for the other 4 to come in, you're building the next one. Oh, I see some light bulbs going off. All right, you haven't heard nothing yet. Now, this is very important because a lot of people don't understand this, so I'm going to take just a few minutes on this. The tracking system will automatically submit the request for a new panel, what we call re-entry, all right, when the 6th gift has been accepted. Now, I'm going to back to our board panel so I can show you this. When you, down here's the senior, when you have accepted gift number 1, 2, 3, 4, when you accept that 4th gift, the computer is going to start you on another board panel just like this, only in a higher dollar amount. When Joseph goes out and gets someone, invites someone, and then Kenny goes, and let's say Joseph and Kenny go each go get 1, well, that gives you 6 gifts. Well, when that 6th gift is accepted, the computer is automatically going to take you and restart you another panel. So you'll become a freshman again on somebody's board panel, and you have no control over where you go. The computer just puts you there. Okay? Now, here's what you have to remember. We start with a $100 panel. When I received my 4th gift, I started a $250 panel. Okay? Now I have 2 panels. When I received my 6th gift, I started another $100 panel. But now I'm here in my $250 panel. When I receive my 4th gift, what happens? I go to the $500 panel. But now I have a $100 panel, I have a $250 panel, and now I have a $500 panel. But now, this is what's key. When my $250 panel receives the 6th $250 gift, the computer starts me another $250 panel.